In this video, I'm going to show you how to operate the on-screen keyboard and some of the editing features. Not all the editing features are available in every single app. So I'm going to switch between the Notes and the Mail app to show you some of the editing features. To get started, we're going to take a look at when the keyboard appears. The iPad is smart enough to know that if you have to type something into a dialog box or on screen when you're replying to an email or creating a memo in your Notes app, then the keyboard will automatically appear. Let's take a look at that feature. I'm going to go to the search screen, so I'm going to swipe my screen to the right and the search screen will show up. Now notice that next to the Z key and the question mark key we have the virtual shift key. Right now it's indicated that it will automatically capitalize the first letter and then the next letter you type will be lowercase. Let me try this. I'll type ZX. Z is capitalized, X is not. If I want to keep the letters all uppercase, I double tap the shift button or the arrow key twice and it gives me a dark blue, and now any letter I type is all capital letters. I tap the arrow key again and it goes back to all lowercase. Now the keyboard layout, as you can see, is a normal QWERTY keyboard. This keyboard can actually be split and moved around on your screen depending upon what you want to look at. If I want to split this, so on an iPad, typically an iPad 2 or iPad 3rd or 4th generation, I can hold the iPad with both hands and type with my thumbs, but I can't reach my thumb inside to the letter G or H. My hands are too small. So what I can do is I can split the keyboard, and I can do that by holding two fingers on the keyboard at approximately F and H and holding them down on the screen while I pull it apart, and it creates a smaller keyboard that I can now reach with my thumbs. If I want to put this split keyboard back, I do the same thing. I press both thumbs down at the same time and swipe them together so they almost touch, and then let go and my keyboard will go back together. I can also do this feature, the split keyboard, by using the bottom right hand corner. That icon shows that the keyboard will disappear if I tap it. And if I want to show up again, I just tap into the search screen or the search dialog box where I can type. But if I push and hold on this, it gives me a couple options. I can split my keyboard, or I can put it back by tapping it and holding, and I can do dock and merge. The other option is I can move it or undock it, choosing the undock option. Now I can slide my keyboard up or down depending upon where I'm going to type on the screen, and then use the option to get rid of it completely. And press and hold and dock and merge. Alright. The other way that I can type is by using the dictation. I'm going to get out of the search screen and I'm going to go to my Memos app. So I'm going to open up the Notes app over here so I can type a memo. Here I am on one of my 4 memo pads, and I'm going to type a note here. Notice I just tap in next to iPad 101 and I can now see the cursor blinking and my keyboard shows up indicating that it's ready for me to type. I'm going to hit the return key and it takes me to the next line. Now I can type my name, space, and type my last name. Now if I want to capitalize the first letter, I tap the shift key, the arrow pointing up, one time, and type HOLVER. And notice that when I start typing, it shows that a suggested word is Holverson. If that is the word I want, all I have to do is hit the space bar and it automatically fills in the rest. This allows me to type a little faster by using abbreviations. I also can use this if I'm typing and I don't want to use the apostrophe key for some words. it'll automatically correct. And I'm going to type the word there are, but I'm going to use the abbreviated version of it. Notice that it automatically assumes that we're typing there are with the apostrophe, so I'm going to hit the space bar there, and it automatically corrects it for me. If I did not want to do that, I hit the backspace, and it gives me the option to put my word back to the original way that I wanted it spelled, which is not the correct way. If I hit the space bar, it's going to indicate that that word is misspelled with the red underline. I have spell check turned on. I'm going to show you here in a minute how you can change those settings so spell check and autocorrect is not enabled. But I would highly recommend them. I'm going to tap that, and when I tap that word that's misspelled, it shows me some options here. I can select all, or paste. If I choose select, it will select that one word. If I choose select all, it will select every single word on this note. Once I hit select, it now shows me some options. I can cut that word out of there, copy it, or paste it. Or paste, not it, but paste what I have in my clipboard. Or I can use the suggest feature to suggest a better spelling. So it's recommending I use there or Therese. So I'm going to use there. Next I'm going to use is if I double tap the space bar, it's automatically going to put in a period for me. These are the shortcuts that are there. If I type AA, it should show Aaron Hoverson because I added my name as a shortcut. So I'm going to show you now where those settings are so we can actually add a shortcut of our own. I'm going to hit the home button and I'm going to go into settings. The keyboard settings are underneath general. So I'm going to tap general and I'm going to scroll down to the keyboard option. In here you can see the auto capitalization. That's where the shift key is depressed one time for me to type my first letter, and it will keep it capitalized, and the next letters after that will turn off. That's this feature right here. The autocorrection is turned on. That's where it automatically corrects misspelled words. It will check my spelling, showing a red dotted line underneath the word that is misspelled. And enable caps lock. This is where I do the double tap on the shift key to enable the caps lock. The period shortcut is when I double tap the space bar. That's this option right here. It will put a period after the word and a space. Split keyboard. This turns on and off that feature that allows me to split my keyboard so I can type with my thumbs. This option right here. And down here below we have my shortcuts. So if I type AA, it's going to display Aaron Hoverson or my email address. Blake will actually change to Blakely, and OMW is on my way. Let's add another one. Let's add the iPad 101 and the shortcut, and let's just do IP. And I hit save. So now when I type IP, it should show up iPad 101. Let's go back to our Notes app and let's try it out. IP space. It automatically shows iPad 101. Next I'm going to show you is how we can use the dictation to enter text. Dictation is available on any of the iPads that have Siri enabled. Dictation is used to actually dictate what you want displayed or typed. So I'm going to hit enter a couple times, and I'm going to use next to the space bar to the left, you'll see the little microphone. I'm going to tap that, and I'm going to say something, and it should just type it out. I am typing on my iPad. I tapped it when I was done saying those words, and it automatically filled in what I was saying. This saves on typing, especially if you're not so fast on the keyboard. So that was dictation. Next is how we can actually edit some of the text. So we're going to take a look at some of the editing features that are available here in the Notepad, and then we're going to switch over to the Mail app to see some more advanced editing features. Remember when I hold down my finger and don't lift it, it gives me the magnifying glass. So I can see where my insertion point is. That's the blinking cursor. And when I let go of it, it gives me the little editing dialog. Select, select all, or paste. Then we do select all. And we can see everything that we have here, and it gives me some options. If I cut it, copy it, or paste it. If I cut it, and I didn't want to cut it, there's a really nice feature called undo. And that is available if you tap the question mark 1, 2, 3 key in the bottom left corner. And I'm still on a foreign keyboard here, but it's the spacer. If I tap that, it actually should say undo. And speaking of which, all the alternate keyboards that you can have, we're going to switch over to a different keyboard. So there I just did an undo. So I'm going to enter a couple times. This is a weird little glitch, but I'm glad we encountered it so we can take a look at multiple keyboards. The great thing about these keyboards is that you can have multiple keyboards. So again, this is under General, and then under Keyboard. And you can see keyboards, I have listed here 1. I'm going to add 1. Even though I have English, it's still remembering that I had another keyboard, so I'm going to hit Add New. And I'm going to add, way at the bottom of the list, Spanish. So now I have 2 keyboards. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back into my Notes app. Okay, so now I'm back in my Notes app, and I'm going to tap on my note to start typing. And if I see that little globe, the Earth symbol that showed up in the bottom left-hand corner, if I press and hold that, it shows 2 different types of keyboards that I can use. Espanol or English. I can change it to English, and I can go back to my 1, 2, 3, and there's my undo. And it just undid a return that I did. So if I type 1, 2, 3, 4, enter, and go back to my 1, 2, 3, and hit undo, it gets rid of what I just did. So it remembers what I did. So again, if I select all the characters by pressing and holding my finger down, using the select all, and I accidentally delete it all, don't panic, you can always hit the undo button. Undo the last edit change that you just made. Now, as long as we're on the screen, in the bottom left-hand corner, we push the 1, 2, 3 or the ABC to switch keyboards to the characters and special or numbers and special characters, so we can type our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. You can use the @ symbol, ampersand, $, and other symbols in here. If there's a symbol in here that you don't see that you want to use, you can hit the number key, and then right above the number key, where it says now ABC, you see the pound symbol plus and minus, and that shows some of the other characters in brackets, asterisk, plus, and percentage signs. So this is where you can actually use different keyboards for inserting different symbols. Hitting the ABC, I'm going to now tap and hold, go to my Spanish keyboard, and that's where I can use my keys and my characters with accents above them. So that's the example of using an alternate keyboard. If I just tap the globe, it switches between US English and Spanish. So I'm going to tap back to using my US English, close out of this app, go back into my keyboards, and I'm going to remove that extra keyboard that I have. So I only need my US English keyboard. To get rid of this Spanish keyboard, I'm going to tap my finger right on the Spanish button line, but I'm going to slide it from that arrow to the left. And notice a delete option shows up. I can push that delete key and it will delete that. Another way to do it is by pushing the edit button in the top right corner. And now you can tap the little minus symbol in front of Spanish and the delete option shows up. So that's how we can get rid of that keyboard. Right, hitting the home button, I'm now going to show you some more advanced editing features. We're going to have to go into Mail app in order to do that. In the Mail app, I'm going to create a new mail message. This new mail message, I'm going to type, "This is a new So I mistyped message, and it automatically shows me that it suggests I spell it message. So if I want that, I just hit the space bar. If I hit it twice, it will automatically put a period in there for me, as that is one of the shortcuts. Now if I wanted to underline new, I want to tap and hold on new, and the insertion point switches over to that word. I let go of it, and now I have a lot more options that I didn't have before. One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to hit select, and that will choose just the word new. Now it gives me some options. What can I do with this word? Well, I can use the suggest, and it will suggest different words similar to new. If I didn't necessarily mean new, I'm going to tap off of that, and I'm going to do this again. And now I'm going to use the B, I, and U button right in the middle there. This will give me the option to bold, italicize, or underline. So I can underline and I can boldface it. So now the new is bold and underlined. I'm going to tap message and oops, try it again. And I'm going to select, and I can also use the define. So if I'm reading something on a web page or writing something and not quite sure if this is the word I want to use, I go to define and it shows me the dictionary. Let me get my keyboard out of the way so I can see what this word means. Define. So now I can see it's a noun, a verbal, written, or recorded communication sent. So that is the definition of message, if you didn't know that. I tap it again while it's still highlighted, and I have some other options: insert photo or quote level. Quote level is something that's specific only to creating a new email message. In emails, if you hit reply, the previous email, what was typed from the person you got it from, will be increased in a quote level, meaning that this was something that was in a previous message that you're replying to. You can hit decrease and it goes back to the normal display. Notice now when I select, I see my little grabbing points. This is what I have selected for highlighting. The bottom one, if I tap and hold and drag that over, I can now highlight more words or letters. That way I don't have to select all of it or select just one word. I can choose exactly what I want to select. And I can change those all to italicize. So now my text is italicized. So again, if I tap and hold, hit select, now I can change exactly what I want, and it magnifies it for me so I can see what I want to highlight. And I'll copy that. Okay, next we saw an option to insert an image. If I tap and hold in a blank area, I can insert a photo or video. I'm going to insert a photo or video from my photo stream. There's a picture of an HDMI extender and HDMI cable. I'm going to hit use, and it inserts this image. If I tap and hold on the image, I should be able to select it, and I can now copy or cut it out of this email. If I hit cut, then it removes it from the email. And this concludes the email, or the on-screen keyboard and some of the editing features. If you're using other apps like Pages, or even numbers, you may get more editing features. Give it a try, tap and hold and select one of the words, and you'll have all the options available to you for that particular app. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please do ask.